Hey, this one's another good one because AJ had. I like when AJ's fired up, bro. Like that's what makes the show when AJ's fired up. So we were talking about Deshaun Watson, man. When he had reported to camp, but also in the same breath formally requested a trade through, I think through his agent or something like that. But it's Houston that's acknowledging that they're looking for offers, right? So I took a poll, another Twitter poll, and this one, let's see. This one is four options. Does Washington needs to go after Watson? And the options was without hesitation, passing because the price is too high, maybe still not sure, or passing because of legal issues. And before I read some of the comments, I'm going to ask you all, what do you think the people said? And then what is your vote on the matter? And it's an open floor, so whoever wants to go first, go for it. If y'all need me to repeat it, I'll repeat it.
I mean, I think the people probably scared, knowing this fan base, they scared of everything. So more than likely, a lot of people probably voted in that way. But I mean, you got an elite quarterback that's young. Deshaun's probably only 25 years old. If you can go get that guy, why don't you? I mean, of course, like you know about the legal stuff, but people also alienate the guy that he was before these accusations. Like we don't know if it's factual or not, but prior to that, he's a stand-up guy in your community. Everything that you could want out of your quarterback. And like I said, he's 25. He's talented as hell. You put him in this atmosphere with this culture, whatever. Like the sky's the limit. And if you can keep these guys in the fold, and right now you have to strike hot with the fact that you already having to extend guys like Allen, Terry McLaurin is coming up, Payne is coming up, Sweat is coming up. Like if you're gonna keep this nucleus together, you need to win championships. Like playoffs is cool. Like last year was cool as a fan being stuck in the crib because of the pandemic. But I need to see more. Like I need to be preparing for a parade in February in downtown DC. You know, just as a
Yeah.
fan. And the only way you're going to get to that level is if you go and get a quarterback. You know, I'm not really high on the quarterback prospects coming into the draft next year. I'm not high on Ryan Fitzpatrick, as many of you guys know. Why not go get that quarterback? We know that he's going to get traded. Why not the team that's going to make that move be us? Why let someone else make that move? I don't know what player you would give up, but draft picks you can have that. I'm getting a 25-year-old superstar at quarterback. I'm going to be just I'm going to be all right. Point blank.
All right, Nick, let's hear it. Where you at with it?
Yeah, I mean, prior to all the allegations that came out and prior to legal stuff, it was easy decision. I'm sending however many first round picks you want, and I'm taking them. This fan base has been looking for a quarterback for decades and decades and decades. And when you offer up a trade, like say 3 first round picks and Matt Ioannidis for Deshaun Watson, people are going crazy turning that down. I mean, if you think about it, how many first round picks have we wasted on quarterbacks? You're always trying to get that one quarterback. If you could tell me right now that I could get a franchise quarterback at the age of 25, 26 for 3 first round picks, I'm taking it, no questions asked. I'm just running away from that. I mean, it's crazy if you could sort of pull that off, but there's just so much up in the air right now with the allegations and legal stuff like that. I think it's just I don't know. It's tough to sort of turn that on the fan base and be like, yeah, we're gonna go for him, go get him. But I mean, like AJ was saying, this you gotta go for it now. Like this team, you've seen it with all these other teams that have recently won Super Bowls, other than the Patriots, unless you have Tom Brady, but they get that one championship and then 2 years later it's a rebuild. Like look at the Eagles right now. You
Oh
you
yeah.
have to strike while you have that core together on rookie deals, and you need to shoot for the stars. I've been pushing for the Watson trade forever before the legal stuff came up. I think I might still pull the trigger. Obviously, I don't know the whole story, so I'd be hesitant about it. But I love Deshaun Watson before all this stuff. I thought 3 first round picks was a steal. So yeah, I'm going for him.
Yeah, and even when you factor in the legal stuff, it's like let's say worst case, you might miss 6 games. And that's no discredit to the women involved and their stories, right? But him missing 6 games and you have him for the rest of his probably career, like, I mean, it's just like we don't know the facts behind it, but this is the perfect opportunity to make a trade happen because Texas also had to live with the fact that he has that looming over his head. So you can get him at a cheaper rate than you would be able to get him if he didn't have any of this legal stuff going on at all. I just can't see how anyone. I'm hoping that we have fans that are in the chat like disagreeing, but I can't see how anyone would be like, nah, let's play with Ryan Fitzpatrick or Taylor Heineke. Like, let's see if this Kurt Warner story is going to happen when I know for certain that this guy can get the job done. That's why many teams are starting to trade for players that they already know what they can do on the field. You've seen it happen with Jamal Adams. You've seen it happen with DeAndre Hopkins. You've seen it with Stephon Diggs last year. Like, teams are no longer trying to risk their first-round picks to go get unproven guys out of college because you really don't know how that's going to pan out. Nothing is guaranteed. But at least if you've seen this person build up their resume in the league, you have everything that you need at your hands. You got PFF as well that can tell you about Watson.
So
yeah, I mean, strictly football terms, it's an easy decision. Strictly football terms, it's an easy decision. I'm sending a blank check to Houston. I'll go pick him up from the airport. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Just bring him to Washington.
So, first off, what's going on, Jared and Kev, the subscriber, man. I appreciate y'all checking in. Jared said trade for Watson, no question. Montel agrees literally with that. Trade for Watson, no question. And then obviously, Kev, he said if Watson is cleared, he would trade the house. So I think, I mean, so I would just say it's safe to assume. Obviously, AJ is without hesitation with his, and he said that people were scared. So the assumption is pass and for legal issues. Same thing with you, Nick. I would assume is without hesitation for you, and then obviously you think that people will pass for legal issues. Dre, where are you at? What do you think the people chose, and what are you choosing?
I mean, any fan, if you just talking like you said, strictly football, any fan that says no to a Deshaun Watson trade, any blockbuster trade for him is crazy. Like, you have to, like I said, 25 years old. He's top. Yeah, I think 25. He's a top five quarterback in my opinion in the NFL. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's talking football. You make that move, but and as a fan, yes. You know, if you could tell me that Deshaun Watson is absolutely cleared, he's innocent of all charges, whatever, I'm like, yeah, go do it, you know. But right now, it's hard to entertain that, especially when you, according to reports today, there's more women that came out today, and then be criminal charges coming against them. You keep in mind too that this organization, of all organizations, they're just getting out of a sexual harassment type of scandal, and then you're talking about entertaining a guy that has sexual harassment lawsuits and all this other stuff against him. So I think as a fan, sure, we would say yes, but realistically, I think there's zero chance they go after him. If he's, I mean, right now as it stands, I think there's zero chance they would go after him.
Okay. All right. So I'll read some of the comments and then obviously give you all the answer. Jarrell, who was a former guest on the show, said, we get Deshaun, we're going to a bowl immediately. I'll be willing to give up most. Okay. All right. Give up most. I don't know where Chase Young or Montez Swift fit in that, but obviously them boys down south need some defense. So all right, give up most. And then we have.
They would definitely ask for one.
Exactly. Cole Killer mentioned that he's young, already established, and a baller. No brainer, but with the likely cost and Ron's quote unquote culture pledge, no way in hell they even consider it. Okay. And then I'm gonna save this one for last because this one had AJ worked up, and I like to see AJ respond to this one. So C. William mentioned, he's too expensive, taking back a high level contract, taking out a high level contract, shipping out draft picks and youth to get a malcontent and off the field issue guy. Nah, they're gonna take a discount for that player, and that's all I'm gonna talk about. And then pass because of price. Ain't nobody willing to give up 3 first-round picks and someone off the team for someone who's already had an ACL surgery. So he's sticking to strictly on the field. He's saying, yes, he's young. Yes, he's great. But no, he's not Patrick Mahomes. This is Farsum, 1989. And here's the guy that you had ran into on Twitter, man. He said, if I think I know Ron's belief system, I don't even think we try and go after Watson as he's a bad character guy. Now, knowing Danny, he could pull a dick move and veto Rivera and go all in like RG3. And if that were to happen, I believe it would be the beginning of the end for Rivera and DC. And that's the last of the comments. The winner of the poll was passing strictly because it was of the legal issues. And they won by 11%.
They just scared. I mean, and people keep talking about Ron's like belief system. Like, is he Mother Teresa? Like, the fuck? Like, this motherfucker, like, he's cussing at his players. People think he's Mother Teresa. Like, oh no, his culture. Like, the hell, like, I don't know. That's why I get irritated with the fan base, because I'm like, you're too scared. Do you have a better answer? Like, who? Like, really? Like, who is the answer? Who coming? If you really expect the team to do good, they're never going to be in the position to get a top tier quarterback in the draft. So if you're really expecting the team to succeed and you have high expectations, they're not going to be picking top 10, top 5. They're going to be in the top 20. I mean, they're going to be in the 20 to 30 if you expect them to really do good. So you'll never have a chance to really get an elite quarterback. You could probably hope to get somebody second, third round and it stick, but that's not likely. The likelihood of getting a Russell Wilson is slim to none. Like, that's not something that typically plays out that way. So it's like, if you're going to tell me you're going to pass on him, okay, even with the legal situation, what is the answer? Because I know Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the answer. I think we're just expecting the ball to be pushed downfield more, but I'm also expecting a lot of pick sixes and a lot of bad quarterback play. Like, I mean, training camp starts tomorrow. So once y'all start reading them little headlines from John Kahn, JT Finley, that he done threw these picks, oh yeah, y'all gonna change y'all. You're gonna have to, hey, Jamal, you're gonna have to run that poll back.
So I got a counter. I wanted to counter on that. But see, AJ, I think it's more of we got to look at it more as a marathon and not a sprint right now. I mean, we are in year 2 of this regime. We're 2 years removed from a 3-13 roster, and I think, a lot of fans want things to kind of be accelerated a bit because they did go to the playoffs. They stumbled into the playoffs in a bad division, and now fans are kind of looking like, okay, now we need to be a Super Bowl roster right now. When in a sense, like from day one, it's kind of been a thing where we need to gradually get better. And that's where I am as a fan. Like, I believe, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and especially when it comes to acquiring a quarterback. We couldn't do it this year. We tried, but, Matt Stafford, he wanted to go to LA, whatever.
He chose.
But there's always going to be QBs available every year. Like, every year, there's going to be a slew of quarterbacks that want out of their situation, or it's going to be. Matter of fact, I tell people this all the time. Like, people talk about the college draft class. Oh, the quarterbacks aren't this, or they aren't that. Right now, that he's probably looked at as a 4th, 5th round guy right now. He's probably going to shoot up the chart somewhere. He's going to end up being a 1st round pick that someone covets. I mean, I look at Zach Wilson as a case last year. Like, Zach Wilson was a guy no one talked about in the 1st round last year. Like, he wasn't on no one's quarterback radar. And then he comes in and he's the number 2 pick this year in the NFL draft. So that's why I say every year, I think you're going to have your opportunity to acquire your guy, because it's going to come either via aggressive in the draft, or it's going to be aggressive with a trade for him. So I'm not looking at this year as, we should have been a Super Bowl contender, but we got Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm looking at it more as just gradually get better, keep building a winning culture, and then until you shoot again next year for your quarterback. And I think they will try to shoot for one. I don't know who it will be. I don't know if it's, a guy that's on the radar right now.
But here's the thing, Jay. You can always draft a guy, but can you get the guy? That's the key thing. And time is not on your hand. I mean, by you missing out on Dwayne Haskins a couple of years ago in the draft, that should really set your franchise back 5 years, right? But now you still have the opportunity, due to the fact that your defense is in play. You played so poorly that you picked number 2 overall. You were able to get Chase Young last year in the draft to pair him on with Montez Sweat and your D tackles. you have to go get this quarterback. Like, I don't know of two bigger names than Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers that have been kind of like open and available on the open market in recent years. Like, just going and getting a guy is not going to work with this team. You need to go get the guy. Like, I don't really, in my time of being alive and being a Washington fan, the closest thing to an elite quarterback that I've ever seen was RG3 rookie year.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's been bums. Like, straight bums.
Colt
Like,
McCoy.
yeah, I mean, you're playing musical
John
chairs
Beck.
as quarterback.
John Beck.
Yeah,
Damn.
you had to play with Mark Sanchez and Josh Johnson a couple years ago. If you can go get a quarterback that's 25 years old that can play up to the age of 40, regardless of the fact he had ACL, I mean, it's not as bad as it once was back in the day.
Yeah.
You have to go make a play for that guy because your window of opportunity is closing. It makes no sense to sign these guys that we're talking about, the Youngs, the Sweats, the Paynes, the Terrys, if we don't have a quarterback at play. Like, you'll never even be able to know Terry's true potential if you don't have an elite quarterback, because he's been playing with a whole bunch of guys just pulling up by the playground and just say, hey man, y'all need a quarterback. That's
So-
pretty much